How do you think they'll manage to annoy, screw over invaders in the DLC? Um, I'm not too sure. I just know if they do another overall damage nerf, that's pretty much all they need to do. That's because the way the poise is working right now, I have a strong feeling that just a couple of players is all you'll need to get stun locked. So it has nothing to do with damage anymore, to be honest. Um, but I don't know if they'll actually intentionally do that though. I think damage is likely fine. What do people say here though? Faith equivalent of Rivers of Blood Moonveil? Oh please! Wait, How does that manage? I mean, dude, that doesn't screw over invaders. That's actually a tool. I'd use that. I mean, of course, we could get ganked or whatever, but like, like I just said, I'd rather use something on equal terms than get a damage nerf for invaders, and then players are just stun locking you anyway. So, effectively making a damage nerf, pretty useless, and just an invader nerf. It's kind of crazy, man. It's like, bro, if you get hit in this game and it hurts, maybe try not getting hit in this game. Invaders get stat nerfed in PvP. No. See, the only people who are trying to get stat nerfs are the people who are trying to lower the damage because they keep getting hit by stuff. Invaders lose hyper armor in PvP. Well, we're already there, kind of. Invaders lose flask in PvP. Kind of. Oh, you mean more? Or in total? Oh, geez. I don't know. That would be tough. Hosts get 2 blues on top of 2. Okay. Whoa, no, they will not. They're not going to add in any more players. They're not going to take away players. That's just not going to happen. Maybe they make a Taunter's tongue change, but that's not really what the question's asking. Even though, I kind of, whatever. STFU, your intrusive thoughts are winning. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there's going to be that many changes for invaders or PvP. However, I do want to go over some of the stuff to see if there's possibility of them actually improving invasions. Let's be a little bit positive today. But yeah, let's see. Let's make some guesses here. Let's see how this can turn out. The DLC could possibly make invasions in PvP more expanded. They can expand on that. The way I'm justifying this is because when the Ring City came out, which as far as I know, it was their last DLC that they made, they added Spears of the Church, which is super cool. However, Spears of the Church was also a covenant, and we don't have covenants. So that can, depending on how you look at that, fromsoftware could either look at the covenant and Spears of the Church and be like, oh, well, you know what? We can do that to make the game a little bit better. We can add some quality of life to it quite easily with just, it doesn't even need to be a covenant. It just needs to be just some guy who gives you like rune arcs maybe, or like has a shop for as many times as you win the Spears of the Church, quote unquote. But look, that's the one thing I was hyping up since the DLC was announced. I really wanted a Spears of the Church type boss fight, like a PvP boss fight, maybe some sort of giant battle. Maybe they bring in an extra player or something. That would be super cool to keep PvP at a really, really good spot. Is if there was also another place where we could go for PvP. That's not Coliseum. However, chainsaw glitch, yada yada. There's some things in the way of that theory, but I still think that's the easiest way FromSoftware can improve PvP in the DLC. But okay, let's see what other people are hyped or not hyped about when it comes to what the DLC will add to PvP. They should add covenants again. Also, give me the original Clean Rot Spear and let Short Sword take the parry Ash of War. Oh, that'd be interesting. Game would be fixed at that point, I'm pretty sure. I don't think so, but that's interesting though. Definitely interesting. None of these particular cases, I highly doubt they'd nerf invaders even more. Like, what else can you take away without making it a mechanic no one in their mind would even want to engage with? Yeah, pretty much. but geez, they're pretty much at that border right now, aren't they? Flask are already halved, and technically invaders are almost always at a stat disadvantage because of how matchmaking works and rune arcs. You can invade 15 levels higher. Okay. What's much more likely is some really goofy new weapons that have ridiculous AOWs. Just double down on the spam since That was one of the ways they managed to draw in the casual gaming audience. Wow. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yes, I that's definitely more likely, right? It's like they definitely add in a new OP weapon, but uh, I don't know if that draws in the casual gaming audience. I gotta be honest. If they had a large portion of casual gamers for Elden Ring, a lot of them were already, a lot of them already got invaded. I don't know about a lot of them, but there's definitely a group of the casuals that left already because of invasions. I'm going to sound like a broken record since I always mention this, but historically they've always put the most broken best weapons in their DLCs. Yeah, I mean, fine. Look, if they get a broken weapon and we get a broken weapon, that is perfectly fine with me. That I do not see that as a negative. I see that as a way to even the odds for invaders, because now you just have to use that broken weapon better than them, and like boom, skill, right? So anyway, I see Elden Ring being no different. The question is, how crazy are they going to get? Is everything going to be a self-buffing wombo combo? Or perhaps there will be more L2 spams. Okay, no. See, that's... Yeah, now they're on to something. If they add any more Death Spears AOWs, nah. Like, let's just kick... The Death Spear, I'll say it again. The Death Spear is by far their worst designed weapon. It is the laziest designed weapon, and it's also... the most like, honestly, you don't even need to be good at the game to just L2 press your way through the ending. It's kind of like, yeah, you know what? Okay, that is a pretty casual weapon. So it's if they add something like that, then yeah, my God, what a gross weapon, dude. They should really just delete it at this point. Rivers of Blood. See, Rivers of Blood isn't even as annoying. What hates me about the Death Spear is you can be the worst player in the game and still just be way too effective because you have one button. It's so annoying. A Rivers of Blood variant that does lingering bleed damage, some more lightning quick high damage, power stance, L2 movesets. Yeah, no, that's all good. That's all dodgeable. The Death Spear is like hardly dodgeable. Now, some people might say it'll just give invaders more tools to play with. Yes, I did say that. But all that stuff only serves to help hosts, since without friendly fire, there's zero consequences to just putting out as much spam. Okay, no, that's a good point, because if we get another invader and you're just spamming death spears or whatever, you can hit that invader. That's perfectly fine. But that's still, like, in your skill compass. That's basically still an issue on how you're doing damage. So, ultimately, no, I'm not too threatened by other invaders killing me with giant AOWs. I will be conscious of that. But okay, now this was a lot of good notes, though. A lot of good notes. Rivers of Deathblight, never gonna happen, but yes, that sounds scary. Madness Infusion, also will never happen. Maybe even a Deathblight Infusion, stop. If they would have done, did I say Infusion? If they were gonna infuse Deathblight or Madness at all, they would have done it. A new spell, it's just like the Rivers of Deathblight or like Rivers of Madness. Yeah, that's much, much more likely. A new spell with the speed of Swift Glintstone Shard and the damage of Comet. No, stop. See, now we're just goofing off. A talisman that changes roll to Bloodhound step at a... Okay, no. However, a talisman that changes rolls? What game was that? What Dark Souls game where it was like a ring and you can dodge it and it like turns invisible for a bit? I forget. If maybe I'm thinking of something else, but that... I don't know if they're going to do any dodge rolls without big of an issue. I don't know if they're going to do any talisman roll changes with how big of an issue light roll has been, so I don't know. But, okay, this is like pretty much the top 5 horrific things they could add. You missed out Frenzy Dragon Breath. So, yeah, I think if anything is going to get like an insane additional spell, it's going to be the dragon spells. The dragon spells, like, they're either going to do Madness or Deathblight Dragon Breath. I don't know if they're going to do Deathblight Dragon Breath, but a Madness Dragon Breath is definitely possible. Yeah, I don't know. Sleep Dragon Breath? I doubt it. I actually have a hard time believing they'll do that, but that would be one of the worst things they could add. Yeah, I wouldn't count on system changes of any kind. Maybe co-invaders if we get extra lucky. So yeah, maybe like a Spears of the Church PvP boss fight type situation. But you can bet there will be some sort of Armageddon level form of AOW and spells that will make Radon Meteor look. Yeah. Oh man, We'll see, but yeah.
Well then, shall we?